You do not start life as a glamorous favorite. You start as someone's profit margin. You are born in a cramped slave room in Athens, or dragged in from a raid on Thrace. Either way, you are property before you are a person. If you are war loot, your story begins with fire and shouting. Cities in Thrace, Asia Minor, and the Black Sea coast fall to Greek armies. Prisoners line up in chains. Men sort people, checking teeth and muscles, with no feeling at all. Strong bodies go to farms. Skilled hands go to workshops. The pretty boys are flagged for household use. You are in that group. If you are born in the house, things look calmer but are not kinder. Your mother is a slave. You are oikogenais, born into the household. That sounds warm. It is not. It just means the owner does not have to pay for you. You grow up under watch. You learn early that the wrong tone can earn a slap. In a city such as Athens, tens of thousands of people live this way. Some historians think there were as many slaves as citizens. You are one small body inside that number. No vote. No name in any public record. The law calls you andropodon, a man-footed thing. By the time you are around 10 to 12, people start to talk about your future. Not your future, really. Your owner's. Traders visit from the port of Piraeus, or from Corinth. They look you over, teeth, shoulders, hair. No one asks what you want. That question does not exist. The slave market is your big debut. Buyers crowd under awnings. Some people are branded. Some are chained. A few, like you, are cleaned up to look valuable. You stand on a small platform while the dealer lists your features, your age, your good behavior. You are sold. A name is called. Money changes hands. That is the moment your path narrows. You have a new master. Your life as a future concubine has officially begun, purchased for household and pleasure. Your new owner does not carry you home himself. A servant leads you through crowded streets, while your buyer talks business with friends. You walk a half step behind, eyes lowered. You already know the rule. Stay quiet, stay useful, stay alive. The house you enter is not huge, but it feels like a maze. Courtyard in the center, men's quarters on one side, women's quarters hidden deeper in the back, storage rooms, kitchens, slave rooms. You will not have your own space. You are an extra body, fitted into whatever corner the household can spare. An older slave explains the layout like a drill instructor. Do not cross into the women's rooms without orders. Do not speak when free men are talking unless they speak to you first. Do not look guests in the eye for too long. Every line is a rule that keeps you from being beaten. Your owner looks at you like a craftsman inspecting a tool. He tests your Greek, asks where you come from, maybe changes your name on the spot to something he likes better. Your past shrinks to a single sentence. Your future sits in his hands. You start with basic tasks: carrying water, cleaning cups, sweeping floors, running small errands to the market. These jobs are not random. He is watching how you move, how fast you obey, whether you lose your temper when someone mocks you. You notice patterns. The owner calls you more often than he calls others. He likes you nearby during meals, even when other slaves could do the job. At night, he keeps you within reach, not in the rough common room by the kitchen, but closer to his bedchamber. To the city, he is your Kyrios, the legal head of the oikos, and you have no standing against his will. No one says the word concubine out loud. Respectable men pretend such roles do not exist in their own homes. Yet other slaves know. They see where you sleep. They see how the master's hand lingers on your shoulder. In account books, you are a line of expense. In law, you are an object. Inside this house, though, your body is turning into something else. A private luxury, a status symbol, a quiet secret the walls learn to keep. Groomed for elite male company. Your training starts fast. The house wants results, not potential. An older male slave, often a pedagogos, becomes your handler. He teaches you how to stand, how to walk, how to serve wine without spilling a drop. He has scars on his back, so you take every lesson seriously. Grooming is a daily ritual. Body hair is removed with bronze razors or pumice stones. Olive oil covers your skin, then scrapers pull it off with sweat and dirt. Your hair is styled to fit current taste. In Athens around the 5th century BCE, shorter cuts show discipline. Perfume comes next, usually imported from Egypt or Cyprus, and worth more than most workers earn in a month. You smell like wealth, even if you will never own any. You learn table etiquette. Pour wine from a crater at the right angle. Hold the jug with your right hand. Keep your wrists steady. Do not talk over free men. If someone jokes about you, laugh lightly. If someone insults you, stay silent. One wrong reaction can turn into punishment. Education follows. You memorize short poems by Anacreon and Sappho. You learn songs played on the aulos. You practice reading simple Greek texts. You do not get full schooling, but you gain enough to hold small conversations. Your owner wants you to seem charming, not clever. A clever slave makes people nervous. Physical fitness matters. You stretch, run, and practice basic dance steps. You handle cups and trays until they feel like extensions of your hands. Your posture becomes straight, your movements smooth. This is not vanity. This is training to raise your master's status. A graceful attendant makes him look powerful and refined. Clothing becomes part of the job. You wear lighter, finer fabric than work slaves. Not expensive, but clean and styled. You are meant to be seen, not hidden. Other slaves notice the difference and whisper. Favor breeds jealousy. You learn to watch your back, even in the slave quarters. Your owner tests you constantly. He watches your reactions to guests, to stress, to touch. He wants a companion who pleases without effort. You feel your old self fading. Your new role forms layer by layer. Polished, obedient, attractive, and always controlled. Serving at all male symposia nights. Your real workload begins when the sun goes down. The symposium is the heart of elite male life in cities like Athens in the 5th century BCE. It looks like a party, but it runs on rules tighter than a temple ritual. Free men recline on couches. You stand. That detail says everything. Wine flows, but never straight. You mix it in a crater with water, usually 3 parts water to 1 part wine. Too strong, and the night turns into chaos. Too weak, and guests complain that the host is cheap. Guess wrong, and someone blames you. The host stays blameless. You carry cups, called kylikes, from couch to couch. You refill, you wipe drips, you avoid stepping on cushions. You serve food in small bites, often figs, cheese, and bread. You also handle the fun parts. Music, games, flirting. The aulos player does the music. You get the rest. Men debate politics, philosophy, and who insulted whom at the last festival. They praise democracy and then treat everyone who serves them like furniture. One guest quotes Homer. Another burps loud enough to shake the walls. You keep your face calm. Your job is to make them feel clever and admired. Guests know that certain slaves are available. You are one of them. If your owner taps the couch, you move closer. If a guest touches your wrist, you do not pull away. Consent is not a word here. The law gives you none. The room fills with smoke from oil lamps and cheap incense. Voices rise. Laughter can switch to anger in seconds. A drunk guest may grab you or throw wine in your face for a joke. You cannot react. A reaction means punishment later. The symposium also builds your owner's status. A beautiful, skilled attendant signals wealth and control. You are a walking display of luxury. Men judge your master by how well you serve and how well you look. Navigating power, desire, and jealousy. Daylight does not make your position safer. It only makes it clearer. You now live in a triangle of power that can crush you fast. At the top sits your owner, legally allowed to beat, sell, or loan you out. Under him stands his wife, the Kyria of the household. She has no political power outside the house, but inside these walls, she rules the women and slaves. You are a threat to her pride and her status. Greek marriage in Athens, especially in the 5th century BCE, is about heirs and alliances. A wife guards her role as mother of citizens. You are a reminder that her husband seeks pleasure elsewhere. She cannot shame him in public, so she may punish you quietly. A bad look from her can mean fewer rations, harsher tasks, or orders that leave you exhausted before the next symposium. Other slaves watch the attention you get. They scrub floors and haul grain while you pour wine and wear perfume worth 8 drachmas a jar. Favor breeds resentment. A kitchen slave may trip you on purpose. A guard may correct you with a fist when no one sees. You cannot report it. The steward will tell you to behave better. Free youths in the household can turn hostile too. A teenage son wants to prove his status. He sees his father favoring a slave boy. That burns. He may insult you in front of others or demand you serve him with the same obedience. You must obey. The law backs him. You have no rights under Athenian statutes, recorded in speeches by men like Demosthenes. Your owner's affection is dangerous. If he praises you too openly, guests joke that he is ruled by a slave. That hurts his honor. He might respond by acting cold or violent to prove control. One tender night can lead to a beating the next day. Rumors travel fast in the household. The slightest hint that you show preference for another person can trigger rage. Your body is not yours. Desire is a one-way street. You learn silence, speed, and careful smiles. You study moods like a hunter studies tracks. One wrong gesture can shift the balance. Favor can lift you high. It can also drop you hard. laws, morality, and public respectability. Athens in the 5th and 4th centuries BCE loves rules. It loves courts. It loves speeches about honor. It just does not love you. Under Athenian law, a slave is property. You cannot testify in court unless tortured, because the system claims slaves only tell the truth under pain. Nice civic values. Legal speeches by men like Demosthenes and Aeschines openly state that being sexually submissive marks a man as weak and unfit for citizenship. You are not a citizen, but your presence still threatens a man's public image. Here is the big twist. Elite men can sleep with slaves, male or female, without penalty. The shame lands only if a freeborn male takes a passive role. So when your owner uses you, he feels protected. If anyone suggests he enjoys you too much, rivals can attack him in court for lacking self-control. They do not care about you. They care about his reputation. Public respectability is everything. Men speak in the assembly, serve as jurors, and march in festivals. They must look disciplined. Keeping a male concubine is fine as long as it stays in the shadows. If rumors spread that a man lets a slave influence him, his political career dies. One joke during a symposium can become courtroom ammo. You become a legal risk. Your presence in the men's quarters can fuel gossip. A rival might hint that your owner has lost his Andrea, his manly virtue. Aeschines used that line of attack in trials, mocking opponents for letting young favorites rule them. The hypocrisy is loud. The city celebrates beauty in art and theater. Vase paintings show scenes with slaves serving and pleasing their masters. Yet the same society acts shocked when someone admits to enjoying what everyone sees. For you, the danger is constant. If your owner fears damage to his name, he can drop you fast, sell you, hide you, lock you away. The law will not stop him. Your job is not only to serve, you must help protect his public mask. Fail, and you become the problem he solves with a quick sale. Morality here has one rule: reputation first, humanity last. Life beyond the household walls. When your owner steps outside, you become his shadow. Agora, baths, temples, festivals, you trail half a step behind. Athens, in the 5th century BCE, is busy, loud, and sharp. You are in the middle of it, but never really part of it. On market days, you follow him to the agora. Citizens argue about grain prices, war plans, and who lied in the assembly. You carry baskets, coins, and whatever he buys. Your clothing marks you as a slave. Simple chiton, no fancy cloak, no weapons. If anyone bumps you, they do not say sorry. They shove you again and blame you for existing. Your owner talks politics with friends. You stand close enough to pour wine from a street vendor, far enough not to interrupt. You hear names: Pericles, Cleon, generals, orators. The city debates its future while you keep track of bags and jars. If something gets stolen, the beating lands on you. At festivals, your world widens a little. During the Panathenea, crowds pour up to the Acropolis. You go along to carry offerings or stools. You see huge processions, bright textiles, and sacred statues. Citizens take pride in their city. You take mental notes on which streets stay shaded and which alleys are safe to slip through if trouble starts. Bathhouses and gymnasia are another lesson. Free men strip, oil up, and talk sports. You stay at the edge, holding towels, oil flasks, and sandals. Your body is good enough to use at home, not good enough to share the floor. If someone calls, you move. If someone throws something at you, you pick it up. Police in Athens are often public slaves too, many from Scythian origins, armed with bows. They can drag citizens to court. They can also hit you without anyone asking questions. You live in a city where even the slaves who carry whips outrank you. Still, there are tiny pockets of air. At the public fountain, you trade quick comments with other slaves. A joke, a complaint, a rumor about a kinder master in another house. Short moments, but they remind you that you are not the only one trapped in this system. Aging out of desired youth. Your value has an expiration date. In Athens, the ideal age for a beautiful male companion sits around the mid-teens to early 20s. Vase paintings from the late 6th and 5th centuries BCE show the same pattern. Young bodies get praised, older ones get ignored. You feel the shift the moment it starts. It begins small. Your owner calls you less often during meals. He asks another slave to pour wine at a symposium. Guests glance past you. The jokes that once targeted you for beauty now skip you entirely. Silence cuts deeper than insults. Your grooming routine changes. The expensive perfume disappears. The steward hands you cheap oil that smells like old olives. Your clothes become rougher. You lose access to the finer fabrics that marked you as a favorite. Each change is its own verdict. Tasks shift fast. You get moved toward general labor, cleaning floors, carrying wood, running errands alone. You are still in the house, but not in the center. The household needs bodies to work, not aging ornaments. The emotional change hits harder. Your owner treats you colder. He sees you as a reminder that he is getting older too. Greek men fear looking ruled by desire. Keeping an older male favorite makes people talk. Rival politicians use that line in court, accusing opponents of being controlled by aging lovers. No one wants that reputation. In some households, a younger slave replaces you. Everyone sees it. The whispers sting. You watch your former position handed to someone who looks the way you did 5 or 10 years ago. You feel bitterness rise, but you swallow it. Anger is dangerous. You may be sent to a workshop owned by the household. Shoemaking, pottery, metalwork. Skilled slaves can bring profit. If you have talent, a new path opens. But it is still under control. If not, you become simple labor, hauling goods or grinding grain. Some aging concubines end up supervising younger slaves. It sounds like a promotion. It is not. You become the guard dog for someone else's pleasure. Paths to manumission or lifelong bondage. Freedom becomes the new fantasy once beauty stops paying the bills. In Athens, manumission exists, but it is rare. Historians estimate only a small percentage of slaves ever gain it. Most stay enslaved until they die. You learn that fast. The first path is loyal service. Some owners free long-serving slaves in their wills. They like the idea of appearing generous after death. It costs them nothing at that point. Greek wills, recorded in inscriptions, show freed slaves gaining limited rights. They can marry, buy property, run a business. Sounds great until you read the fine print. Most freed slaves become metics, resident foreigners. They must pay a monthly metoikion tax and stay tied to their former owner as a patron. The law demands ongoing obedience. If you anger him, he can haul you into court. Freedom comes with a leash. Another path appears if your owner needs money. A skilled slave who brings profit is worth more free than idle. Some craftsmen buy their freedom slowly, paying fees over time. You do not earn wages, so good luck building savings. Maybe you pick up coins during errands or get tips from drunk guests. You hide every obol you find. If caught, it is theft. Emotional bonds sometimes help. A master who once adored you may decide to reward you. Do not trust it fully. Love fades, reputations shift, and heirs hate sharing inheritance with freed slaves. The family may block manumission or contest the will. Legal speeches by men like Isaiah show families fighting to keep slaves as property. There is a darker route, replacement. Once a new favorite enters the house, you become less risky. Freeing you makes space and reduces gossip. It is not kindness. It is household management. If freedom comes, it is public. A ceremony at a shrine or in front of witnesses records your new status. You get a name again, sometimes the one you were born with, sometimes the one your owner gave you. People call you apeluthoros, freedman. It feels huge. Then the rules hit. You cannot vote, hold office, or serve on juries. Citizenship stays locked away. Most concubines never reach this point. They age, work, weaken, and die in the household. A quiet burial, often without a marker. Memory, silence, and historical traces. When you die, there is no big scene, no public funeral, no long speech from a famous orator. You slip out of the house the way you lived in it, quietly. Someone wraps your body. Someone takes you to a grave outside the city walls. Maybe you get a simple marker, maybe not. Your owner's family moves on fast. They worry about dowries, property, and citizenship status. They do not argue over your legacy. The law does not care. Athenian records focus on citizen men, their land, and their lawsuits. You never appear on a voting list. You never appear on a jury roll. For the city, you barely existed. So where do we even find you? In fragments. In side comments. In places you were never meant to lead. Legal speeches give one line here and there. Aeschines or Demosthenes will throw in a jab about an opponent ruled by a slave or a favorite boy. You show up as an insult, not a person. Your body becomes courtroom trash talk. Comedy does it too. Playwrights like Aristophanes crack jokes about slave boys, foreign attendants, and spoiled house favorites. The audience laughs. They know the type. You are a punchline on stage because you are already a tool at home. Inscriptions sometimes list freed slaves by name. A few lines cut into stone. Who freed them? Which god witnessed it? What duties remain? If you were lucky enough to reach that status, your name might be there. Short, formal. No mention of what you actually lived through. Most concubines leave nothing written at all. No letters. No diaries. no direct voice. Modern historians dig through shards, speeches, and jokes to rebuild your world. So, your story survives in a strange way, not through your own words, but through the traces of people who owned you, joked about you, and never asked what you thought. Your life was real. The record is the part that stayed small,